I feel that they need me in their life and that realtor needs me in their life. So then I'm probably just 10 times more gutsier than I've ever been. I mean, calling on people that I maybe would have never thought I would call on, and knowing that they need to work with me, walking into the room feels a lot different than like, hey, I can get your
Hoping
loan
they will.
closed. Like
Yeah.
we service, like that's that had no backbone to it. And so now I think for me, I show up differently, which is huge.
Well, let's just dive into all things Nicki and Team Montelongo and what you're doing there in your market. I mean, I came out maybe a year or so ago, saw the connections you have in that market, saw how, how much people kind of look up to you and your team in that market, and what you've done since and kind of how you've grown. And so I'd love to just hear from you. Like, what are some of the things that you're doing in today's world that's getting you great partnerships with referral partners, that's helping you, attract and convert more clients, that's helping you up level your value, that's helping you scale and kind of grow your team so you can not have to be everything to everyone all the time. So maybe just share with us one or two or three of the things that you're really focused on right now, and we can chat about them.
I think we came over to Neo, and that message to the public and to some of our referral partners was very foreign in the beginning. So, what we do today, tomorrow, into the future and holding people's hands. I think in the beginning when we came out and we talked about it, I feel like our local people were like, is that almost too good to be true? You know what I mean? Like, is she just
Yep.
talk a big talk? And I think when you think about it, gosh, I think we're going to be here 4 years this year.
Yeah.
And we were like, we're not just talking the talk and then putting our head down and really doing what we told clients and our referral partners what we're going to do. And seeing that day after day and that success that we're bringing for our clients, I think that it's finally hitting like, she wasn't messing around. Like, she's real. This is real. What we're doing is real. And I think that's finally hitting to the point where just overwhelmed with business right now. And I think that some of it is just doing the right thing, putting your head down and doing the Neo way and showing clients and our referral partners, like, you need more, expect more. This is where the industry is going. I think that's just been flourishing. That'd be the first thing I would say.
Let's pause
Um,
on that for a second
okay.
because I don't know if I've ever really thought about it that way, right? Because I tell people, I mean, obviously, I've been telling people this since 2018, but I don't know if I've ever really thought about how they perceive it real time versus overtime. So, when we first came out to that market and you first joined Neo, you started telling people what we do before, during, and after. And, I was in the room when we were presenting it. I could see the eyes light up and you can see the gears turning and, the people that were coming up to you and me afterwards and saying like, "Oh, this is so cool. Like, we really need this." But saying it and proving it are two very different
Mhm.
things, right?
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah.
it's like when we heard about AI coming, we were all like, "That sounds cool," but, it's probably all just talk. And now we're experiencing the impact of it real time. And it's like, oh, okay, like this is serious. And so are you experiencing a different level of connection with your referral partners? Is it because they're hearing it from their clients? Is it because they're seeing the results? Like what's getting them to start changing from people who heard it to people who are now kind of living it and expecting it?
I mean, gosh, I would say it's a number of things. So I think for the existing partners, they're seeing it. So they see the calls that I get to call them and tell them, hey, so and so is ready to buy, and they had no idea. They're the fear out of the way, and they're like knowing a move before they're ready. I think seeing the SEER, the customer success manager, right? Like seeing those emails and seeing that that's getting improved now for 4 years, that's been huge. Getting more case studies under our belt, I would say too. So when we have more stories to tell to our clients and to our CPAs, and we just have more people in the system doing it, has been
Yeah.
really good too. So I think all of those things are going to has been playing a role. And truly, like we've talked about this, confidence is a 10, confidence is a 12. So like I feel that they need me in their life and that realtor needs me in their life. So then I'm probably just 10 times more gutsier than I've ever been. I mean, calling on people that I maybe you would have never thought I would call on. And knowing that they need to work with me, walking into the room feels a lot different than like, hey, I can get your
Hoping
loan
they will.
closed. Like
Yeah.
we service, like that's that had no backbone to it. And so now I think for me, I show up differently, which is huge. Mentally, it makes I think everybody can feel that as well. So I think all that kind of plays a role in it.
I love that. I think that that's what, especially communities like yours, right? That oftentimes can be, somewhat dominated by a, bank or credit union and a lot of smaller markets, not small, like not small in terms of population, but, smaller loan amounts and, not incredibly tech savvy. You're not on the coast, right? You're not in the Bay Area. You're not in New York. You're not in LA. You're in a part of the country where relationships matter, where reputation matters. And I think for a long time, in many of those markets, the average loan officer was just so underwhelming that you might as well just go to the credit union, right? Might as well just go
Hmm.
to the bank,
Hmm.
right? Because you're going to
Yeah.
get the same thing, but you might actually get it cheaper. And what people are starting to realize, especially in your market, is that they're looking for value. They're looking for long-term partnership. They're looking for, somebody to move the needle in their life and help them through their life. And they realize the value of that because it's not just a philosophy anymore. You're proving concept. And I
Hmm.
genuinely appreciate that because when we set out to change the mortgage industry, 5 years ago, it was all that. It was all just we're going to talk about what we're going to do
Hmm.
and, here we are 5 years later, going on six, really proving that concept. So I just want to give you a ton of credit because it's not easy to do, right? It's easy to talk about, but it's not easy to actually execute on. And the fact that you're experiencing all of the benefits for yourself and your team and your business partners is just a testament to you, sticking into it and saying, look, I'm not going to go back, right? I'm just going to keep showing people
Hmm.
what the future looks like. So that's awesome. What else? What else are you experiencing in your market or with your partners or, anything else?
I mean, obviously we talked about jumping into maybe some of those people that I didn't think I was worthy of previously. So now I'm partnering with them and helping them elevate their teams and
How are you
excited
doing
maybe
that?
one.
There's mortgage professionals out there that hear, okay, Nikki's partnering with some of the top agents in her market. These are relatively recent partnerships, right? What are you offering to them that the average mortgage professional wishes they could offer or is wondering, like, how did you get that partnership and how can I get similar ones?
I'm definitely utilizing our Partnership Plus program with them. I have a meeting with them even on Thursday. We've been kind of building this out and the momentum to even get in front of the team and train everybody up and just to make sure when we get this rolling, we're going to be hitting it strong. But our Partnership Plus for me really helps us, which again, we're all about relationship build with our clients. We're going to flip that to be more of a relationship build with our agents and help them with a program where I can help them with listing strategies that's all going to be very transparent. So as a partner, all that incoming business that we're doing together can benefit so I can keep reinvesting in their business channel. So it's something that, hey, like I don't want to just quote you rates. I don't want to just get people done. I want to build a partnership where we're building something substantial together that's going to benefit us both. And we can scale it with our teams and build something that's really magical. And I think if we just come in and offer a value, just same thing with our clients, right? You're offering them some sort of long-term benefit and holding their hand and being a true partner with them. It's been impactful. So Thursday's definitely a great day because we're going to get things rolling on that.
Nice. And have you been able to generate business on your own that you've been able to refer to them?
Oh, ton. I think we've sent them like 7 deals in the last 30 days. So it's been super fun for them to probably never had that kind of business from one loan officer in a month, or I'd say loan officer for them, but for me, for a mortgage
Maybe
advisor,
in
for
a
me, they're like,
lifetime.
right? They're like, whoa. So, I mean, this is something huge that we're really building something special, and they are very much long term like us. That whole they want to build education first, help clients for the long run. So, I think this is going to be beautiful.
That's insane. I mean, I really thought that I was a good lending partner to some of the top agents that I worked with in Southern California and kind of all over the country. But I always showed up with my hand out. right? I always showed up with like, hey, who have you talked to that you can refer to me? And if I was able to get one, maybe two clients a year referred to my top agents, I thought I was doing pretty good. You referred seven in 30 days,
Yeah,
right?
I would
And
say
that's,
maybe 45, but yeah, like I mean, I
yeah,
was,
30,
and
45
that's
days. They should name their kids after you at that point, right? Like,
yeah.
that's a pretty amazing thing to do. And like, that makes me so proud to be a partner at that point because we're meeting each other at the lead generation point, which is the hardest thing for a realtor or a lender to do is generate a lead, right? Once we get one, we're all good with it,
Hmm.
right? But the consumer is more and more going online first, right? They want to get pre-approved online before they talk to anybody. They want to look at all their numbers before they talk to anybody. They want to look at real estate on pick your real estate platform before they talk to anybody because they see the typical realtor and the typical, you know, lender as salespeople.
Hmm. Hmm.
And so agents are having a harder time, getting to the client first. Lenders are having a harder time getting to the client first. You're now showing up as a legitimate partner in that lead generation, in that visibility portion of the business. And so I just want to, first of all, say how proud I am of that because it was a philosophical idea. It was a
Hmm.
hypothesis that we had that if we started meeting the client here where they are, we could bring them down to the best agents in the marketplace. And you're proving out that concept. So that is amazing. What is you know, but you said you're overwhelmed with business. What are you doing right now from a scale perspective, right? So where you don't grow out of balance, you can confidently keep up with your scale and you can lean into partnerships like this because I think a big part of the reason why a lot of loan officers don't go after these top agents is they're like, what if I get one? Like I'm having a hard enough time doing two, three, four, five loans a month right now. What if they give me another five per month? I'll fail, right? So what have you been doing over the last, 3 to 6 months in terms of scale, team building, technology to where, you can confidently bring in more business and help more families?
When we started talking about the Partnership Plus, I was like, I can't do it alone. And
Yeah.
obviously that's a leading indicator that you're setting yourself up for success. So I immediately got our first production partner on board. She's been in for 30-ish days. She's had a vacation this week, but um, legitimately, I have a plan that hopefully by June, I'll be hiring my next production partner two. And then by the end of the year, our LS will be a full-time loan specialist. So we'll have like a very good core built up and I can just see and feel the lift. Like in
Mm-hmm.
just this 30 days, I'm already like, I mean, yes, I'm working crazy hours. I understand that you could have a little bit of pain in the training
Sure.
up, but
Building
I can
process. Yep.
already see like the light at the end of the tunnel. And I'm just stoked for that because I know that if we can get some of the hurt up and running, get some things implemented, like my life in the long run is going to be easier and we can touch so many more families. And so I don't need to do, follow-ups and all of these things that are not necessarily my pay grade. And I can do and stick in my genius zone, which is the consultations and the strategies, which makes me happy, not calling to ask for a pay stub. So I think it's been huge in the last 30 days. I know it's going to get even better, but so just as a branch leader, putting my money where my mouth is and not being afraid to, I'm going to go hire people well ahead of it. And whether I need to sacrifice myself, my own income or anything like that to make sure that the team's ready to go, that's number one. So that's kind of what I'm doing right now.
Yeah, most people are in a very challenging phase right now because the average mortgage professional, I think the average is probably a wrong. Like the medium level of production for like a full-time mortgage professional, not someone who just hangs their license, is about 1 to 2 loans a month, right?
That's
And
crazy.
you start to get to that 3 to 4 to 5 range, and that's where people start really struggling because it's like there's not typically enough revenue there to really make meaningful investments, right? Investments in your team, investments in your technology, investments in your process, investments in your business partners, right? Like you just don't have enough meat on the bone at that number to do all those things. You obviously have the uniqueness of full financial transparency. Like you're not only responsible for every dollar that comes in, but you're aware of it. And so you can make investments a little bit differently, right? You can count on capital markets revenue as an added benefit, on a quarterly basis, knowing that's coming in that can cover costs and really help scale. But I think what you're doing is right. Right? You're putting the growth and the stability consistently before the opportunity. And that's what's going to allow you to focus on the opportunity and go get more of these teams and get into other markets and potentially into other states. Is that, you should not be doing most of the things that you had been doing. And now with production partner one, credit analyst, loan specialist, like you're just following that blueprint for freedom,
Hmm.
right? But more than anything, you're following the blueprint for impact because you can help so many more families in so much of a more holistic, more appropriate way than being the cheap lender with no margin and you can't grow that way, right? Or being the lender that holds margin but doesn't have the ability or know-how to scale a team. What have you experienced knowing that like each person on your team now has a community and a place where they can be trained and they can be led and they can be motivated by others that do the job the exact same way? Because when I was building my team, they had no community, right? Our community was just our team. So like my production partners had nowhere to go to find out if they were doing a good job or where to get better or how to like benchmark themselves versus other production partners. My credit analysts, we were literally making it up as we went, right? Our loan specialists. And so how has that been for you? How has it been for your team? What kind of lift have you seen from everybody doing the job the same way, having masterminds, getting better, learning the technology as it changes and evolves? What's that been like?
I mean, for my production partner in this first 30 days, she came out of the gate with her test cases and she knew how to do Tin Man. Please don't make me teach somebody Tin Man. Like, that's not my strength. So she came out. And so, right out of the gate, I mean, I was sending her files to just like she would have the backbone training. Yes, we're going to train on the more intricacies when she gets back from vacation, but learning the system, like, that was huge for me to, and then have somebody to check her work. And then we just did our follow up on Friday that she was like, gave me feedback where she was, her strengths. So that was huge. And then my loan specialist, I mean, she gets to sit in those collaborations, bring stuff back to me all the time, like, hey, here's what's going on. Here, we can grow and change and adapt and are always like process improvements all the time because we get to pull from other areas that everybody's doing something like we're doing the same thing, but then they get
Hmm.
to collaborate and then be like, how can we all be better? Plus with Tin Man, right? Like everything kind of works out
Yeah.
really well. So to me, I don't need to be in the nitty gritty operations side, which is not my specialty. I can vision and see things, and we can talk through that. But then they can go back to their like cubes or like their groups, and then go from there and grow what maybe my vision is a little bit too.
Yeah, I mean, you're first of all, you're inherently a great leader, but you get to lead people in the best way possible. You get to lead them emotionally, you get to lead them inspirationally, you get to lead them as a, vision caster as to what's next for them, but you don't have to lead them tactically,
Yes,
right?
that's
You
very
don't have
true.
you don't have to lead them like on how to use a constantly changing AI technology, right? Like there's a place they go to get that training, to get that masterminding, to get that improvement, and then they bring it to you and the rest of the team and say, okay, here's what I found out other people are doing, and here's how this loan specialist is helping 30 families a month, and I kind of feel stuck at 20. I've figured out the unlock to get to 30. Like I had to do all that shit. I didn't know how to get
That's,
them there,
I
right?
would
Like,
not. Yeah.
or Jeanette had to figure it out by herself, right? And we were flying to teams all over the country and going to this group and that group, be like, how are you doing it? And, that takes a lot of time away from me just growing the business. And it sounds like you were able to execute on that and your team's able to be the beneficiary of it. And so I can't, I wish I had a fast forward button
I
for
know, right?
6 months to see like if we keep you in your genius zone, you go deeper with these partnerships, you make a bigger impact in your market. What is what's your goal for the rest of the year, right? If we get to the end of 2026 and you look back, what's a winning year look like for you?
I mean, all of that. PP1, PP2, LS is dialed in, outsourcing our CA, which all these terms I'm sure mean something to some people and if they're watching this, but
Yeah.
so
If you have
that way we
questions on
have
any of these roles, feel free to reach out and we can send you the job description on all the roles.
right. So our first official pods established.
Yep.
Like, and we are churning easily can do like 20 to 30 loans in that pod. And then I think for me, then I'll feel confident in like that's established to go get another MA. Like currently,
Yep.
the MA is a role I want, but to me, I want to build this out first, and then I can bring somebody on. So that would probably be like by the end of the year, have that all established. Everybody's happy in the role, content in the role. Everybody sees the vision, and then 2027 is going to be to grow another like mortgage advisor side.
Yeah. So 2023, getting to a place where you're helping 20 to 30 families a month, foundational work set with the team, pod one in place, 2027, start working on pod two, where you could do another 20 to 30 a month with
Yeah,
that pod, right? And now you're, 40 to 60 a month, and then continue to just pod after pod after pod. That's
yeah.
awesome.
But with the
Um,
MA, like yeah, an MA is necessary
for sure. Yep.
for sure. Like that's
Multiple mortgage
necessary.
advisors, to a point where you will not be actively, the one doing the consultations and doing the contract meetings. You'll elevate into leadership and lead generation, where you will mentor the team, you'll help the team, you'll shadow the team, but you'll just keep pouring more fuel into the machine so you can make a larger impact. And I think not only do you deserve that, but you've earned it, right? Like you've been such a great mortgage advisor for so long, that helping other people give that type of advice and, showing the rest of your market and your external markets what's possible, like that's going to take your vision. It's going to take your leadership. And to change a whole industry, to change the expectation of the consumer and business partners, like we've been at it for a while, right? But you'll have more case studies. You'll get people there faster, and investing in their businesses and driving, 7 clients every 45 days is probably going to be a pretty good way to do it. So, Nicki, I just want to say thank you. You are such an amazing partner. You're such a great leader for our team, and I cannot tell you how proud I am to be doing this with you and how excited I am for what you're building. And so, thank you for spending some time with us. Thank you for sharing your story. And if you guys have any questions, especially if you're in Nicki's market, if you're a real estate professional in the, what would you say, Nebraska, Iowa kind
Yeah,
of area,
world.
um, I would really encourage you to reach out to Nicki and her team as a real estate professional, because the stuff she can do for your business is just going to be unimaginable versus what most mortgage lenders have done. And if you're a mortgage professional and you want to learn and you want to, emulate what she's done, she's an incredible teacher, and I'm sure she'd be happy to chat with her. So, any closing statements, Nicki, before we jump?
I don't know. I'm just excited. Like the future is very bright for anybody at Neo right now. I feel like everybody's in like-minded, pushing forward and pushing each other out of our comfort zones. And it's just, I don't know. I just get really excited, but we're good.
Love it. Me too. Well, thank you for your time, and we will see you on the Blueprint to 100 Mastermind on Wednesday.